Samuel is my name. I'm a psychological student and I've spent 10 years in service. Thank you.
I thought you were students. Alright. Let's Please tell us how long you have taken in service.
Hello everyone. For today's panel discussion, I'm the therapist and I've taken 1 day and 30 minutes.
Wow. We have fresh information right there. Okay, let's welcome Opio Emmanuel, our psychologist of the day. Please take up your seat. And tell us how long you have lasted in service.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name is Emmanuel Opio and I've taken 2 days as a psychologist.
Wow. Okay, fresh information right there. Without wasting time, let's welcome our mentor doctor because we really need them. And here we want Oika Emmanuel. Please take up your seat.
Please come in. Yes, I'm Ika Emmanuel, well known as a mental doctor. I've taken a half day without any meal.
Okay, that's our mentor doctor. He's already working on your mental without you knowing. So please, let's welcome our medicine specialist of the day today, Mr. Otingole Samson. Please take up your seat. And tell us how long you have lasted in your home.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Otingole Samson. In this panel discussion today, I'm a medicine specialist and I've taken 13 weeks.
Wow, thank you so much. Please take up your seat. Each one of them is going to bring for us a very unique perspective that will help us unpack this critical issue. I encourage everyone to listen actively and engage with questions and takeaways. Please, dear audience, this is not just a discussion. This is something you're going to learn, reflect on, and take something. At least learn something. And most especially, you guys are going to sit down there, ask them questions. In case they're providing you with the information that you feel you need to challenge, please, you also have that chance. I'll be the moderator of the day today, and I'll be the one guiding the panel discussion. Without wasting time, let's dive right in. Maybe let's start with our medicine specialist. You ready? I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you the rules of the panel discussion. One rule is time. Each specialist is going to have 2 minutes. You help us be the timekeeper. Thank you. 2 minutes strictly, and someone is cut off. So when you ask the question, the first phase of 20 minutes, we are 16 minutes. Yeah? The first phase of 16 minutes is going to be moderator to you, the panelist. I'll be asking you questions, you'll be telling me the answers, right? And then the next phase will be you guys, the panelists, cross, like battling, right? Arguing out, challenging other points that maybe the panelists had brought forward but you disagree with. So you can also challenge. So let's start with our medicine specialist. Maybe first make us understand drug abuse, and then you go ahead and tell us what are the primary causes of drug abuse in our society today. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, drug abuse is misuse of drugs in a way that it's harmful to one's health. And the primary causes of drug abuse is peer influence from friends. You might find that your friend might take liquor when you find yourself like engaged, you should be like him or her. Then peer pressure, like like this mostly comes from our friends. You find like your friends like involve you, like give you those ideas that you start taking liquor, marijuana, something of that kind. Thank you.
So very much welcome, our medicine specialist. He has already told us that the primary causes are the peer pressure, but also mental health, yeah, also contribute to the causes. And then also trauma, I think poverty also sometimes, yeah, but we shall know about it more. Because if you asked me, if I'm poor, why would I take drugs? Why would I use the small money that I have to buy drugs, right? Okay, we shall look into that. So, how does drug abuse affect an individual daily life and relationships? That question should go to Miss Tracy. I think you're the one, the right person. Yes, please. How does drug abuse affect an individual's daily life and relationships?
Drug abuse can affect somebody's daily life in the way that that person could be mentally disturbed. For example, if that person has been taking liquor for some good years and becomes addicted to it, becomes mentally unstable, is mentally disturbed. Sometimes, even if that person doesn't have money, that person is forced to go and steal because has that mindset that I can't live without this drink. Yes, so it gives a negative attitude.
Okay, thank you so much. This question, I think, is supposed to go to Mr. Emmett Aaron. Yes. So the question is, how can a lack of education about the risks of drugs lead to a greater abuse?
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Lack lack of education can lead to drug abuse in several ways. Take for instance, I guess whether you can compare a student in Kongunga with a person who has never gone to P1. In a way that at least a student in Kongunga has ever had these issues of drug abuse, the dangers and effects, the causes and so on. But now like a person who is an illiterate cannot know the dangers, cannot know the outcomes, and in actual sense an illiterate person can go in for drug abuse.
So, do you want to tell the house that since okay, like if I'm in Kongunga and I'm taking drugs, I'm more safe than the other one who is in the village taking drugs who has never been at school?
No. But I am trying to bring it in a way that a person who really understands, because even in the Kongonga High School here, yes, we are studying and we have these discussions,
yes,
but it's not that everybody perceives it positively. I understand, but for a person who understands it and he takes it as serious, yeah, that person can abstain and can't do such.
Okay, so our mental health advisor is simply saying if you're here and you're taking drugs, it means that you don't understand. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't simply understand and you're illiterate for that instance. Alright. Let's go to Mr. Omo Samuel, please. This question is for you. Okay, so how does drug addiction impact physical health in the long term?
Thank you so much. Drug abuse. We have all heard that this is the misuse of drugs. And perhaps if I'm to say, if you overuse these drugs, it will affect you physically, emotionally. How? You will find that there are nerves in the body that are responsible to control emotions. there are nerves in the body that are responsible to control even your decision making. So you will find that when you take these drugs, they will go and affect those nerves. And once the nerves are affected in the long run, you'll find that these people who take drugs, they lose control of emotions. You'll find that when someone is told to do something, what happens? Maybe something minor, a person is reacting. Why? Because this person probably could have lost the nerves that control what? Emotion due to continuous use of what? These drugs. That is what I can say. When you talk about decision making, we have nerves in the body that are responsible to control decision making. For instance, we have the prefrontal cortex. This one is responsible for decision making. In every person, you will find that a person who takes the drugs makes funny decisions. But this person who does not take drugs can make fair and correct decisions. That is what I can say about it.
Wow, I love that. But I've always had people around say, if you take drugs, oh my God, you can do the wonders. How true is that?
Actually, that's why I brought the issue of decision making. You see, when you take drugs, the way you start deciding things, you will decide them according to how you perceive things that really make you feel happy. Things that benefit you a lot. For instance, maybe someone just stepped your shoe, just stepping your shoe. But what is your reaction on that? You you end up fighting that person. The person could have even said sorry because I've done it. But just because you lack motion control nerves and even decision making, you react, you start fighting that person, and eventually those things happen.
Wow, thank you so much. And your time is up, but that was so nice. Okay, let's go to Mr. Olupot, therapist of the day. So, what role does mental health play in the cycle of addiction?
Come again with the question.
What role does mental health play in the cycle of addiction? I'm dealing with addiction. What role does mental health play in it?
Okay, mental health has a lot of forms, as we already said before that. There is psychological, there is also physical, and others. So according to the side of addiction, we already know that addiction is simply just the way you get yourself into like obsession with something, like you like that something too much. So the way mental health runs on in addition is like, because a person who takes like cigarettes, they are already that person, like as my colleague said, that it affects the emotions, it affects a lot of things. So when a person like who likes taking cigarettes all the time, like when he takes a lot of cigarette, he can't get another decision on like doing any other things. So most of the time he will keep on smoking cigarettes, and that will really cause a lot of addiction to him, and that is already another mental health effect. So another thing is like a person who likes taking on cocaine. Cocaine also has a high rate of addiction. So because most of them, they believe that when you take a lot of cocaine, that it will give you strength, it will give you like also IQ, but for me I don't like believe in that. So when this person continue takes like taking such cocaine all the time, all day, like every time, like, so there it will affect him and causing a lot of addiction.
Okay, so is addiction a disorder?
According to me, like most people say that addiction is not a disorder, but I believe addiction is a disorder
Yes.
to me, because for my belief, a disorder is something which creates a negative impact towards you. So 1 minute please.
Yeah, you're giving.
So anything which creates a negative impact towards your body, for me I take it as a disorder. So addiction is a disorder because it creates a lot of negative impacts towards your body. So that is me. Thank you.
You're welcome. And also maybe maybe a quick one. Can addiction be overcome? Like, can you overcome addiction?
Yeah, addiction can be overcome in many ways. For example, like you can you can play, like you can engage yourself in physical activities, which can take up your mind. So there you cannot focus on addiction or anything like that. And another way is you can go to the therapist. For example, like me, you can come to me and I give you some guidance and counseling. There can also help you to overcome addiction.
Thank you so much. You've already known the therapist. Please, if you need some guidance, if you're dealing with addiction, reach out to him. He'll give you the best treatment you need. Yeah. We are going to Mr. Oika Emmanuel, our mental health doctor. So, mental health doctor, what are some of the early warning signs that someone might be struggling with drug abuse?
Jesus. Please, time. Let us minimize.
Thank you so much. You're doing the best for us right now. That's all we needed.
Thank you, buddy.
The question is, what are the early warning signs that someone might be struggling with drug abuse?
Yes, there are a lot of the warning signs. Someone may be struggling on the warning signs. One is body weakness, whereby the person who's addicted in the drugs, has knows the only positive effects of drugs, but the negative effect of the drugs, the person will not be knowing. Whereby the person, if he continues taking the drugs, he will lose his mind, and the loss of the body, his or her weight will be decreasing, or not on the normal side. Whereby, if you find a person who's on drugs, taking the drugs, if you try to advise him when he or she has already taken it, you can't advise the person. It's only me who's a mental doctor can
So,
advise the person.
Mr. Emmanuel, sorry to cut you short. I just want to know, how do I know that Mr. Aaron is taking drugs? I want those signs. What should I? Because he will not take in the open. I will not be able to know that he takes. So, what
Okay.
can I use to determine?
How to determine?
I want the signs.
You see, his weight is not normal. Even the physical scene, the way it is not normal that the person is this.
Oh, so you're saying which size exactly? Can you describe in maybe kgs, kilograms?
Body weakness, kilograms. The person
Mr. Okay, Mr. Timekeeper, can you just give us a minute? Thank you. 30 seconds has been given to me. So you're saying, if I am tiny, I am taking drugs.
It's not that you're tiny that you're taking drugs. There are people who are tiny but they are not taking any.
Because
drug.
you gave me
No.
that as yes.
Okay, let me give you the clear information.
Okay, thank
The
you.
information is the person who is taking the drugs he will not disappear on your what? On your the person is very weak, even the reds are. But I'm not saying that I'm taking the drugs because yes.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. I really loved it. And please, we can talk about this later. Oh, Mr. Aaron has a hand. I think he wants to add in something. Please, pass the microphone.
Okay, thank you so much. To me, as a mental advisor, for you to know that somebody is using drugs or abusing drugs, there are some signs we can identify from such a person. Just as my opponent said that emotions. The first thing that you can realize that a person is abusing drugs is through his or her emotions. Whereby there is a system in the brain called the limbic system. So when these drugs are taken, they affect that system, and when that system is affected, of course we know that it is the limbic system that is responsible for emotion control. Therefore, when that system is affected, the person at most times becomes so disappointed, very rude, very harsh, and the only time you can see him happy is when he has taken his drugs.
Wow, that was a very clear one. Thank you so very much, Mr. Aaron. And also, for me, if someone, I don't know, if I see someone with crazy hairs for boys, I am running away. I might think you're mad, but it's fine. We shall see about that. Also, I don't think someone who does not take drugs would defend drugs. Trust me, most people who take drugs know it is not a bad habit. That one you're already refusing to acknowledge that it's bad. You're starting to defend it because for you, you feel after taking, you feel good. That's when your brains are too fast. You reason. That's what most people say, but it's not true actually. It is only you who thinks so. But for us who are watching you, the real world, we know you're running mad. Thank you. Let's go to Mr. Otigolis. No, he's done. Acting Janet. This time is yours. Um, how can drug abuse affect an individual mental health and lead to further deterioration?
Thanks for the opportunity granted. But mental health can affect an individual in the way that you not behave normally as the way you used to.
The question is, how does it affect individuals' mental health?
Actually, it affects the individual's mental health in the way that he will become mentally disturbed and you have that trauma of like each and every time he wants to have those drugs there near him or her. Like for example, we girls always love this shisha. In most clubs, girls like shisha. So when like he's at home, she'll be like, no, I want. Each and every time will be like, wants shisha, taking shisha, you know. And like for me, I've ever stayed with some gangs that take those drugs, and these guys would be like, they would not even want to eat any food, like even taking any drink. They'll be like, just go and buy for us instead of wasting money buying us food. Just go and buy those drugs. Go and buy for me bangi. Go and buy for me Mira. As you know these drugs. I know you know some of the drugs. So I think
Don't know.
okay, some of them I've mentioned Mira, bangi. There is shisha and others. You go for research. Thank you.
Okay. Um, like Sha said, um, there are a lot of conditions that trigger actually someone's mental health once you take the drugs. Also, you find that those people always are anxious. For some reason, they have anxiety, they go through the depressions. It is so easy for these people to have, like, people have already talked of emotions. They have irrational emotions. They can easily react, they're so moody, and they can easily be triggered. So, let's go in to Mr. Opio Emmanuel, our psychologist of the day today. So, Ms. Opio, what role do family dynamics play in the development of drug addiction?
Can you please pardon the question?
What role do family
Just wait.
dynamics play in the development of drug addiction?
Okay, first of all, according to general view and according to the notes that have already been taken and summarized on the internet, it has been noted that the average age for initiation into drug abuse is 13. Therefore, most people start taking drugs at the age of 13. So, the things of drug abuse, for instance, if it's in a family where there is preparation of these drugs, maybe local alcohol, those things like, I know people know those local drugs. If in those families, those things are being prepared, you'll find that there's a possible rise of drug addiction in the nearby future by 67%. That's according to psychology. Because it has been stated that a family where there are drugs, there is a very high exposure to those drugs. Therefore, it is easier for that person to easily start taking them and got used to them. I think that's what I can say about that.
Wow, thank you so much. I hope everyone has participated, all the panelists. Okay, and I hope we have not consumed a lot of time. we are going to dive into the next phase, but maybe this time I would first love to have two audience, including even the teachers. Please, if you have a question, direct to the panelists. You can direct to specific panelists. And yes, please, we have a hand over there. Pass the microphone.
Thank you so much for the time granted for me. My question goes to the first speaker to speak this one of A level. Because he was like,
It's called Mr. Samuel.
okay, Mr. Samuel. The question is, you want to tell me that drug abuse, because it has been taught at school, you want to tell me that people of long ago, all of them used to take alcohol?
Can you give us the microphone so he can answer your question?
All right, thank you so much for the question. Yeah, I'd love to defend myself by telling you, dear brother, that yes, I understand those days long ago, there were no drugs like that. But I didn't mean long ago. I meant people who are illiterate.
That means people who haven't gone to school, like right now, people who are in the village there.
Let us say, my grandma didn't go to school. She's the one taking care of. She grew up in a holy family, but she never knows from her childhood. She does not know English. If she meets with a teacher here, she's like, sir, the teacher, my son or daughter, good morning or good afternoon.
Okay, what's your name again?
I'm called Alex.
Alex.
Now, I'm asking him, does it, wait, Aaron, I want to ask you, you want to tell me that my grandma is illiterate? Yes, I accept. But she never knows what to call drug abuse. Even her fellow brothers and sisters don't know what to call drug abuse because they grew up in a holy family. Not all that I want to tell you is that not all people who are illiterate are what? Drug abuse. Thank you so much.
Alex, I just wanted, okay, with everyone, please try to pay attention to small details. If you had paid much attention, I think you would not be misled. For me, from how I understood Aaron, he was trying to he was making a comparison between educated person who is on drugs and illiterate person who is on drugs. Am I making sense? Yes. So that was the comparison. Are you now okay? Thank you. Any other person? Yes, we have a girl, please. Come over this side.
Thank you very much. I want us not to waste a lot of time. So this is what we're going to do. Before you raise your hand to ask, organize your question, review it, because you're going to have only one opportunity for asking. We are not going to debate with the panelists. So organize your question. You only get one chance to ask, and then any of them is free to respond. I hope that is very clear. So thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity granted. The question goes to Samson. Like you said, like peer groups and the peer pressures is this are the things that make like people to drug abuse. How about like for us, like you don't even have the peer groups or the peer pressures, and there are some things that can really force you to go for drug abuse, like even poverty can force me to go to what? To drug abuse. And also makes me to be what? Addicted to the what? To the drug abuse.
But what is the question? Okay, if you're paying close attention, I think she was merely supplementing. She was only telling us that even poverty can lead to drug abuse. That's why I was saying, organize your question before you ask. You only have one opportunity.
Yeah, and one last person.
One last person, actually.
Yeah, one last. Sorry, next phase.
This question goes to Ahmad. Ahmad, I have a simple question. Listen, just listen, yeah? Ahmad, you mean that, like for me, I'm a Rasta. Then you said that if I'm a Rasta, I'm addicted to drugs. How can you know that I'm addicted? Because I have Ras. The style got it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your question. Now, how do I know when you're a Rasta that you're using drugs? Is it so? To be honest, if I remember my statements very well, I talked about change in emotions, and I would love to supplement on what you're saying, that if you're a Rasta, I doubt whether you'll find a gentleman who has plaited hair. And in most cases, according to the research that has been conducted, most of the people that have plaited their hair and they are boys, they are victims of drugs.
Okay. Okay. According to me, when I see a person who has plaited hair, definitely I would say that person does drug abuse. You might not be able to see that person doing drug abuse. Look at the public figures. Let's take a look at. We lost Radio Mosaic because of drug abuse. He used to do drug abuse. Let's look at the president. Let's look at President Donald Trump. He does drug abuse, but we do not know that he does it. Why? Because for them, they have the money. The drugs they use, you might not be able to see that they're doing it because they are they are those drugs, not these local ones that we have, that you'll be able to see a person smoking it.
I see a lot of hands, and thank you, Tracy. A lot of hands, but because of time, I may not need to take all your questions. But to be very honest, if I saw a Rasta, even if you went to heaven and back, you can't convince me as a person. You cannot convince me that you're just a Rasta. First of all, Rasta is a result of drugs. I don't think any normal person, like our teachers, they are very responsible. They don't do drugs. Do you see any kind of dreads on their heads? Yes, you would defend that, and I know your age does that a lot. Most people, by the way, do those kind of drugs because they are seen from celebrities, but you don't know what goes behind scenes of those celebrities. You don't know what they do to have that. So for you guys, go ahead and copy these kind of things that affect you. I remember, I think 2 months ago, I read some newspaper that was saying in Teso they are beating youths. If they get you with funny hairstyles on the head, they're going to beat you, thinking you are actually doing drugs. Because if you're not doing drugs, what are those stupid hair doing on your head? What is it doing? I see Sir Alex's hand up so badly, but no. Thank you. Oh, teachers also have something to say, please. Yes, you are allowed. Let's give this chance to our teachers.
Thank you so much. This question goes to Mr. Polot. It says, is it only families that brew alcohol or have these local drugs in their homes that end up making most of the drug abusers?
I think that question is going to Opio Emmanuel Ifam. Yes, Opio.
Okay, so my response was in reference to the question which asked that how do families influence the rise of drug abuse? So I did not specify that it's only families that brew alcohol that lead to the rise of drug abuse. There are also other problems or other things which people have that lead them to drug abuse. For instance, there is poverty, stress. Some people believe that the only way to escape stress is by drinking, having such things. So those are other things apart from just families that brew alcohol.
Yeah, maybe to supplement on what Opio was saying, Madam, you'll also find that people who grow up from those families have high risks to drugs. Because you're making warrage, for goodness sake. Mom is sending you, go fetch water, we are going to do this, try to test, is it good? How sure are you going to survive this? Yeah. This time is you guys to rebuttal between yourselves. Choose a name for yourself. This side, choose a name for yourself. This side, choose a name for yourselves.
Okay, my question directly goes to the therapist who say that in case you need any help, you are only supposed to go to him because he's the person with the field of knowledge. How sure are you, and why should we believe that you're the one with that kind of knowledge? And you're just one day old being a therapist.
Thank you for that question. Yeah, 100% you can come to me because in my university, because remember I said I'm one day old in my work, right? But that course of being a therapist, I did it at the university, so I have enough content for you. So that's why I'm really regarding you to trust me that I'm a good person for all that.
You're one day old, and how many people so far have you advised? As a
Okay,
therapist.
as a therapist, one day old, because like I forgot to tell you that I work in Kampala and listen and so far, like since I'm one day old, I received 5 patients who wanted some help like that. So I hope you're contented with what I'm giving you.
Okay, thanks so much, the therapist. If I am to expose a question to you, that can you please give me the effect of these drugs on the brain?
Okay, cause it has already been stated before, as you like some of the colleagues have already said before. The first, like the mental effect you can get in your brain, like concerning about addiction, you can get like brain trauma. That's the first thing, cause you'll get a lot of torments in your brain, and that thing will like cause a positive, I mean a negative impact into your brain. That's the first thing. So that is trauma. The second thing is failure in decision making. Your brain will be like over corrupt. You can't state a right decision for yourself. So secondly, that is failure in decision making. And secondly, because all of us we know that the brain or mental is like the overall charge of all our bodies. So the more the brain is damaged, the whole like the whole body cannot function. So that's another effect. It will malfunction like all the body systems in yourself. Are you contented with what I'm giving you?
Not really, because I remember my question was very clear that some parts of the brain that may be damaged or affected.
Okay, really, like, yeah, I know you want some parts of the brain, but I can't start stating them right now because really, what I'm doing, even they're going to pay me for this work, so I can't really. If maybe you're going to add some credit on me, then I will.
It's okay, even if it is vague, but what I need is a device from you. What is that? I need to know
Advice.
because
Okay, do you want an advice from me,
No,
or you
those
want some
parts.
details about the parts?
Yes, those
Really?
parts.
Okay, like instead of us just urge you around, for more details and for you to understand very well, please why don't you visit my office? Then I'll tell you. Any want more details. My colleague here wants to
You
educate
are
you more
one.
in it.
You are one day old in your work, and I guess maybe you even have an office.
I have an open since I told you I work in Kampala and I received a call for this. So that is it.
Maybe to supplement on that, I know you want these parts that are damaged by these drugs. One, can talk about the limbic system. The limbic system is formed behind here, behind the brain, behind the head this way. So you find that when you overtake these drugs, you find that if you put lock under the mouth here, but you find that that lock goes and affects the what? The brain. How? We have the nerves that transfer that lock to up to where? Up to the brain. So the limbic system is damaged by that. We have the promocortex is also one of the parts of the body that is damaged by what? By these drugs. I think you're contented with that.
I am not contented because I have some biology in my mind, and I have never heard that thing called the proto what?
Thank you. Thank you so much. You do research, and for more, you can visit our offices, and we shall be able to update you with all that
Maybe
information.
before, allow me also to educate you. It is the prefrontal cortex.
So what do you mean?
Correct your term. It is not the prefrontal what, but it is the
All right. It's fine. It's fine. But that is it. And if you're not contented still, we shall leave you with our contacts. Then you shall be able to contact us. Get to our offices. That is all. Now I have my question, and this question goes to our what? Medical specialist in the house, medicine specialist in the house. Perhaps I would like to find out from you that maybe someone is taking these drugs and probably this person could really need to be treated out. What could be some of the treatments you can give this person who has taken drugs, and maybe this person is out to run mad, and probably you could need to save the person? Which drugs can you really give to this person to rescue his life?
Thank you. Very simple. Like I was in Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and that's California. I was taught various like techniques of treating these kind of people. Like for the case of people who take marijuana, so you isolate that person, take him or her to a silent place, then you'll be providing that person with milk, no cow milk. You give him or her to take it for like a month. Then after you'll see the changes.
Okay, all right, thank you. If I'm to ask, is milk medicine or is just food that you can feed to this person?
Something that cures is medicine. So when you provide a person with milk, it actually lowers the concentration of that marijuana in somebody's brain.
All right. Which substances do we find in milk that they have a connection with the drugs that this person takes?
Okay, so you're asking for the substances in milk that lower for the concentration. First of all, you need to understand what is being concentrated in the body leading to such conditions. And asking for the substances which lower the condition, you first need to tell me which substance is concentrated and which you want to lower before I tell you the substance in milk that lowers that concentration.
All right. If I remember very well, I remember I said these drugs that people take, and at times you find the person is almost running mad. And the medical doctors told me that you can put this person in a silent room and you feed this person with milk for some good time. So I was trying to ask him, which connection does milk have with drugs that it enables this person to be relieved from what? From drugs.
Maybe if you really want to know more, be ready to pay for the credit or visit our office.
I am ready for any cost, but I just need to know about this.
You ready for any cost, right?
All right.
Okay, according to psychology, in the brain, we have something called the chemical which is always released after excessive consumption of drugs. That is the dopamine. Dopamine. So when you continue taking your drugs at all times, you find that that chemical is being released, and it's a chemical which leads to the concentration of things like emotions, feelings, such things. Something like most especially pleasure. That's why you find most people who take drugs, they feel like there's a lot of pleasure with them. So now, this person, if you give them milk, you find that the concentration of that chemical is lowered in the brain, therefore leading to the normalization of the person's body. Unless you're ready to pay for more information.
Okay.
Maybe to chip on what the physiologist has said, you asked for the substances in milk. Me, I don't need any payment, but I would love to educate you together with the crowd. So, when you talk about the substances in milk, the only substance that I know that is absent in milk is what we call iron. But all substances talk like calcium, phosphorus, sulfur, and so on, proteins and so on. They are present in milk. So it is these substances that help to pair with the blood vessels. When I talk about this, you find that milk has got two major parts. We have the negative that pairs together with the positive in the blood. Then we have the positive that pairs together with the negative in the what? In the drug. So in the process of you doing physical exercises, you begin sweating. That is the drug that is being what? Excreted.
Okay, Mister, I also have a question because you said about phosphorus, calcium, all that. You narrated your story. I believe that's the story, right? And so the question is, because you never gave us the substances really we wanted. For example, like I'm a patient and I'm addicted to cocaine. How can you help me? Still, you can give me the same things. Really? I just want to get it from you. Can calcium, phosphorus, as you said, help me in all? Really?
Okay, well, just like the psychologist said, that that person is isolated, put in an isolated place and fed with milk. Now, the substances, just as your friend asked that, what are the substances that are contained in the milk which help to lower the what? The concentration of the drug. That's what I was supplementing that. These substances which are in milk are sulfur, protein, calcium, name them but a few.
Okay, that is already enough. Thank you so much. It's done. Battling is done. And before you guys went for battling, I already asked you to provide us with the name of the group. What is the name of your group? So that will help our judge in judging.
Inspirational club.
Okay, inspirational. And then you people?
I help.
Wow.
The group name is Starlight.
Okay, we have elites and then inspirational. So that was amazing for me personally. I really enjoyed. Although I don't know, the judge will tell us about it. Maybe a quick one for the inspirational. Remember, our topic is drug abuse in students, right? So, how does drug abuse affect students' learning, the future, everything? Please, just 1 minute for you people to summarize all that. And then the question for elites. Okay, let them first handle, then I give you yours.
Okay, according to what I know in this psychology, it says that in the brain, the parts which are mostly affected are the cerebrum and cerebellum. So now when you talk of the cerebrum, you find that if you are addicted to taking a drug, you find the decision making becomes slow. Someone like even the thoughts. Of course, now when you talk of low decision making, which means even your thoughts are most times negative, then the cerebellum, which means that if this person is continuously taking the drugs, there will be loss in stability and all those other things. So now if your thinking ability is lost, permanent lowering of the IQ, and you're continuously taking the drugs, of course now your IQ is low, you're still at school, you're continuing to study, which therefore means that even the future is to an extent ruined.
Wow. So you see, even if you're a first class student and you go to do drugs, in most cases you end up you're messing up with your brain, and so it slows you down. So you'll end up becoming a slow student. Eli, this question is for you. What advice would you give a student that is struggling with the drugs?
All right, thank you. Actually, for us as elites, uh, we we always advise people who are actually mostly students who suffer or struggle with drug abuse, mostly one, to seek for advice from doctors like the doctors we have in the house. They seek for advice from them, and actually they could see most of the people who have been suffering with this, most of them have suffered, most of them they have lost their memories. Most of them you find that they really don't know how to make decisions. So that is it.
Okay, thank you so much. Do you want to add something? Yes, please. 30 seconds. Don't waste
Okay.
your time.
In addition to that, like a student who is much addicted or who has that addictive intention, like advise her also to participate in quizzes, participate in chats, and also participate in physical activities which will capture her mind into doing something productive instead of like making herself focused on the drugs. Yeah, that is it.
Okay, thank you so much. So our panel discussion has actually come to an end, but we need to have results between elites and inspirational. Who has given us, who is going with more maybe points, and why? Our judge is here to tell us all that information. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's have some order. We are closing this now. Number one, I want to thank the panelists for a job that is very well done. But because of the weather, I might have no choice. I will meet the panelists after this. So let's have the moderator first close this, and then we shall see what happens.
All right, thank you so much. It is, like I said, it's a great honor having me around, and I'm so happy to be here. Please, dear students, take very good care of yourself, because that's yourself. And we have come to the end of our panel discussion. You guys can go. We can continue with our panel discussion.
Oh, can I have your attention? Whoever is using a desk, just move with your desk back to class. Hey, hello. Move with your desk as long as you're seated on it. Panelists, just come around. How was it?
You have.